Hey guys, PokéDan here. Every Pokemon has its regular and its shiny form. Some Pokemon look better in their regular coloring, whereas others look better in their shiny coloring. And recently, when I was looking at all the shiny Pokemon, I realized that some aren't really that good, and they just needed to be changed. So of course, I thought I'd make a video about the Pokemon I feel should have different colored shiny forms. So today, you guys join me to count down the top 10 shiny Pokemon I would change. If I happen to diss a shiny Pokemon that you like, remember that this is only my opinion, so feel free to leave yours down in the comments. But with all that being said, let's get started. Okay, so kicking off this list is a Pokemon I actually adore. It's Krookodile. As much as I like Krookodile, whenever I see its shiny coloring, I can't help but frown. I know some people who actually like this shiny, but it's not really my cup of tea. In my opinion, the brown and yellow colours on Krookodile's shiny certainly don't complement this Pokemon. If anything, the colours just clash and they look extremely ugly. To make Krookodile's shiny colour better, I only added a little bit of change and the result actually made me like it. I changed shiny Krookodile's ugly brown body colour just to a little bit of a darker brown, and I did the same with the stripes too, and it turned out really well. Comparing the shinies, I certainly prefer my version. The colours don't clash, and overall, I just think it works. Next up is another shiny Pokemon I know people like. It's shiny Sableye. Like I said, I know a lot of people who like this shiny, but it's not exactly my favourite. I see that they tried making it a gold colour to really stand out, but I think that it flops. The gold colouring of this shiny Pokemon looks weak in my opinion, and I really don't like it. Like with Krookodile, I came up with a shiny colouring I much prefer on Sableye. So as we can see on my shiny Sableye, the gold coloured body and eyes turn to a strong blue shade, and I think it looks a lot nicer. The gem on Sableye's body also turns to a reddish pink colour. I think these colours together work really well. They did for other shinies like Spiritomb, so I thought it would for Sableye. Sableye's current shiny isn't exactly hated, but a blue shiny Sableye in my opinion would be much better. Next up is shiny Victreebel. This is a shiny Pokemon I feel like a lot of people don't really care too much about. It's pretty generic, and I think that with a bit of work it would stand out more. Currently, shiny Victreebel is mostly yellow with a tiny bit of blue, and yes, it's not the worst shiny out there, but I still think it needs a bit of work. This is what I think shiny Victreebel should look like. Yeah, I know, you may not have expected it, but I think shiny Victreebel would be great if it was a pink shiny. They may look girly, but you certainly can't say they don't stand out. With shiny Victreebel, the part that was blue, I also decided that it didn't really need to stand out, so I made that bit pink too. When the blue was just standing out from the yellow on the original shiny Victreebel, it got in the way and it really held the shiny back. This version of Victreebel shiny looks way more fun. Next up on the list is the Pokemon Shinetic. Now, in complete honesty, I don't care for this Pokemon even in its regular colouring. It's just ugly and I don't like it. But did its shiny form do it any justice? No, not at all. It just makes me hate this grass type even more. Shiny Shinetic is a hideous yellow and brown colour, and looking at it makes me want to throw up. But instead of doing that, let's try to make it look better. I think shiny Shinetic should have the same colouring as another mushroom Pokemon, being Amoonguss. A lot of people, including myself, like shiny Amoonguss, and I feel like the same colours work well on Shinetic too. As we can see, my shiny Shinetic is blue, so nothing special, but it's still a lot better than the shiny Shinetic we have now. I would choose a blue shiny over a yellow shiny any day, especially on this Pokemon. It at least gives Shinetic a little bit of justice. Coming in at the number 6 spot on this list is a shiny Pokemon not many people exactly brag about. It's Shiny Chestnut. A lot of starter Pokemon are known for having great shiny forms, but let's face it, Chestnut is not one of them. The Kalos trio shiny forms were all similar in that they were dark coloured shinies, and Delphox and Greninja really pulled it off. However, Chestnut was a bit lackluster. I personally dislike Shiny Chestnut. It's a bit dull in my book, so I came up with a better shiny for this Pokemon. My Shiny Chestnut has a very metallic vibe. I kept to the dark theme, except made it a bit better. I thought that since a lot of people like what they did with Shiny Vikavolt, Shiny Chestnut could be similar, and it turned out well in my opinion. I think that if this was the real shiny for Chestnut, it legit could be a fan favourite shiny, just like Delphox and Greninja. It's just a shame that it isn't, and instead we're stuck with this. Coming in the number 5 spot on this list is Shiny Weavile. As you guys may know, I'm a massive fan of this Pokemon, but not so much its shiny. The colouring of Shiny Weavile is a bit all over the place. It's got pink, yellow, and a tiny bit of orange, and it does not go well together one tiny bit. Again, I know people who like this shiny, and I don't want to bash on your opinions, but I think it's not too great. I mean, I actually have a Shiny Weavile that I caught as a Shiny Sneasel, but that was just so I could have a shiny hunting Pokemon. But anyway, let's see how I would fix Weavile. Instead of all these colours, as you can see, I would keep it simple. I would just change Shiny Weavile to a black shiny. A lot of black shinies are fan favourites, and I think that this Shiny Weavile for sure would be too. Anyway, it's a lot better than what we got now, and it would be awesome if something like this was the official shiny. Coming in at the number 4 spot has to be one of the ugliest shiny Pokemon out there. It's Shiny Mismagius. This shiny is a really ugly shade of yellow, similar to Shiny Sableye, but I feel Sableye at least pulled it off a little bit better. Yellow shinies, in my opinion, aren't always the greatest, and Shiny Mismagius is just the perfect example of that. So, let's attempt to fix Shiny Mismagius. My Shiny Mismagius completely turns away from the ugly yellow shiny, and instead it's a dark shade of blue. I feel as though this shiny works well for Mismagius, and it really brings out the true ghost typing of this Pokemon. However, when it is in this shade, Mismagius looks like it has Shuppet's face and Murkrow's hat, and I find this hilarious. I also made another alternative shiny for Mismagius, which becomes a crimson shiny, and it for sure makes it look majestic. Whatever shiny this Pokemon is, so long as it isn't yellow, it looks great. Next up is another shiny Pokemon from the Alola region, being Kommo-o. You could also say the same for its entire evolution line too, but for this entry I'm just going to focus on Kommo-o. This is truly my least favourite shiny Pokemon that exists. The shade of yellow that's used on it looks like, well, urine. And it isn't a pretty sight. As well as that, it's matched with pink of all colours. Two colours that just clash and should not go together. So let's take a look at my version of this shiny. Honestly, it was hard to come up with a decent shiny for Kommo-o. Nothing seemed to work, but I settled for this greenish shiny. I know it's not the best I've made on this list, but compared to other possibilities, it's pretty good. For shiny Kommo-o, I just had to make the best out of a bad situation. In my opinion, this shiny evolution line just sucks. Coming in at the number 2 spot on this list is a shiny Pokemon that's well known for being bad. It's Shiny Crobat. I like Crobat itself, and in its normal colouring it looks great, but as a shiny it really isn't that good. The light pink colour matched with the green on its wings, like other shinies on this list, just doesn't match well together. My version of Shiny Crobat gets rid of these colours and replaces them with light blue and reddish colours. And I think it looks great. Not gonna lie, the shiny I made looks similar to Skarmory, but nevertheless, it still works. I'm sorry if you like Shiny Crobat, but it just had to be changed. And coming in at the number 1 spot on this list is Shiny Pharaoh. I'm sorry, but I think that Shiny Pharaoh is one of the ugliest shiny Pokemon that currently exists. Like I said earlier, not a lot of green shinies work, but out of the lot, the green shiny known as Shiny Pharaoh has to be the worst of the bunch. So because of this, I'm pleased to fix Shiny Pharaoh. So let's see how my shiny turned out. My version of Shiny Pharaoh turns the ugly green to a decent blue. One shiny bird I really like is Braviary, and I took inspiration from that when I was making my Shiny Pharaoh. I know this is a minor thing, but I also like my Shiny Pharaoh because the little scruff on its head looks like an icicle in this shiny form. And to me, that's pretty funny. For Pharaoh, an alternative shiny I came up with was a red shiny, but it still looked too similar to the original Shiny Pharaoh color for my liking, so I decided on blue. Let's face it, whatever color this shiny was, it was still going to be better than the Pharaoh's current shiny. That thing just belongs in the trash. So that wraps up this list. A lot of the Pokemon I mentioned on this list I don't hate, just their shiny forms, but nevertheless I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, let me know in the comments what shiny Pokemon you would change. But with all that being said, for now, I've been PokéDan, you've been amazing, and I'll see you guys next time.